Hello out there. Welcome to another episode of Clicked, where we sit down with some of Deltek's brightest stars just to learn a little bit more about their journey and what's making them so successful. I'm your host today, DK, and we're sitting down with Grahame Tucker, who's an SDR who serves under Sam Clark on the EMEA team. He's going to share with us what's made him so successful up to this point. So, Grahame, thanks so much for joining us on Clicked. How are you doing today?
Hey, DK. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, and thanks for having me.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking the time. We're just going to jump right into things. So if you could tell me a little bit about yourself, who Grahame is, and what brought you here to Deltek.
Yeah, so I've been with Deltek for 18 months now. Been in sales 21 years of my life. 2 young boys, Alfie and Charlie, 6 and 10. What it was, I had friends who worked for Deltek, still do. And at the time I was looking for a new career. I wanted to find a business that had great culture, places where I could establish myself and grow throughout the company. And Deltek seemed a good fit. So 3 interviews later with Sam Clark, and here I am.
Well, we're certainly glad you made the cut, man. You are already making waves. I understand the long game for you is eventually be part of the initial lift on the EMEA sales training team. But up front, you're making an impact here on the SDR side of the wall. You had some struggles earlier in May this year, but then whatever happened, that lit a fire in you, and you crushed June, coming in with 200% of quota achieved by the end of the month. So my question for you is, can you tell us how you were able to get that done? What attributed to your success?
Yeah, definitely. So Q1 was a bit of a struggle for me. I think it was sort of carrying on from the pandemic, which most of us struggled with the previous year. But I took a strong look at myself, thinking, how could I change this? How could I better myself? And it was reaching out to my rep, Perry Jones, who I work closely with. I was having more one-to-one meetings with him. Looking back at Q1, my emails weren't great that I was sending out. The subject line wasn't attracting the prospect to open it. So we went through everything from start to finish. My introduction on calls, my emails, subject line was the biggest one for me. Changing that up and relating to the prospect with specifics in their emails, how we could actually help them going forward. So that was a huge difference for me, and I think it all started back just after Q1.
Wow. Going in and making a full throttle reevaluation of your process and making changes and pivoting, that's obviously has been pivotal for you. So good work there. I was going to ask you, what do you do to stay motivated along the way? What keeps you at full charge?
I would like to say money motivates me, which it does everybody in sales, but my 2 young children, they motivate me. In fact, they need to stop growing up, because the more they get older, the more they're costing me money. But making a good and bright future for them and a steady future, they are probably my best motivation of all.
Excellent. So the question we're all waiting to hear you answer, when did it all just click for you?
Again, going back, it was probably a week after Q1 had finished. I sat and analysed everything, what happened, where it went wrong, and where I could have done better. And it was time to change things up. And in sales, you don't get long to change things up. You go straight from Q1 to Q2. And again, I sat down with my rep and had more meetings with him, looked at my emails, and I thought, right, okay, trying to teach an old dog new tricks. I've been in the game a long time, 21 years of sales. It was difficult to begin with, but it was definitely worth the while of sitting down with my peers and saying, right, okay, where can I change things? And yeah, I think it was just after Q1. My email started being read more. I was getting more connects, and I was relating to the prospects more.
Excellent. Man, Grahame, it's been great getting a chance to having the opportunity to sit down with you and get to know you a little bit more and figure out what your secret sauce has been. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having me, DK. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Listen, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for another session of Clicked. We'll see you next time.